It's been a long time. I know. Hold on. It's 4:30-ish. And I'm still drinking coffee. Not good. Where do I begin? I've been busy. I've been traveling. I'm not in my usual setting, as you can see. For those of you that are new to the channel, this is me just rambling. I don't know how long I'm gonna talk. But this is somewhat of a form of therapy for me. To just press record and go. I'm in Florida right now. I've been here for about 5 weeks now. Got another month to go. This is just a little adventure for me. I've never lived anywhere outside of Washington State, Pacific Northwest area, so I thought going to a different climate and different environment would be kind of fun, and just I've always been curious what it's like to live somewhere else. I mean, not specifically Florida, but like just anywhere outside of the Pacific Northwest for an extended period of time. So so this is just a fun experiment. I'm loving the weather here, although it's cloudy today for the most part. But it's like 89 degrees or something Fahrenheit. So obviously Celsius, that'd be practically dead. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a tennis court across the street from my house. And I had to shut off the air conditioning because it's kind of loud and wouldn't be calming to hear that fan going. So as I film this, the temperature's slowly gonna rise in here, so you might see me sweating a little bit. I don't know where to begin, you guys. Work has been crazy. First of all, I think that is probably, I would say it's the primary reason why I've been pretty silent on my channel. But it's busy in a good way, you know. I love my job and I love what I do. I'm very, very grateful and fortunate to do what I do. But it's the kind of situation where I really do not mind putting in extra hours and kicking ass and devoting a huge portion of my time and my life to it. So, and the amount of work that I need to put into it is kind of, it's relative to the course of the business and how it's doing, you know. So, so that's been good in some sense, but also like obviously like not being able to post very often or at all, really. That's just not fortunate. I have a cat coming here. What are you doing? Come on. Come on. Yeah, it's just the way it is. I've been trying to make time to do more ASMR videos, but really, let me jump back a little bit. Things really started to slow down in May. That's really when work started to just ramp up, and it hasn't let up ever since then. And when I say May, I mean May 2020. access to my regular recording space too, or filming space, and so I've just been kind of like in flux and just like in this weird like in between phase ever since. If I'm being perfectly honest with you guys, if you don't mind, it's not ideal. I haven't, in that sense, like, I'll be totally honest, in that sense, I haven't been okay. I mean, there have been certain aspects when I think about the last year, I've really just, I've been kind of struggling with that, like, not being able to have a consistent routine. I'm very OCD and kind of, like, I like my routine and I like my schedule and I just like organization in my life in many different ways, and not having regularity is okay from time to time, but when it spans an entire year, it can be it wears on me. So I'm getting to the point now where I don't want to say I'm fed up, that's not really the right term, but I'm getting really anxious for some some permanence in my life. My living situation has changed, and obviously where I'm at has changed. I'm right now, I don't have any microphone stands, so I have mics set up right here in front of me, but they're set up on a Joby Gorilla Pod, and then you guys are mounted on my gimbal system, which is propped up on a couple of a chair and a stool. I didn't want to go out and buy a tripod and mic stands just to film a couple of videos, because I'm not going to be here that much longer. I'm headed back to Seattle for the summer. So anyways, so in that sense, I've just been kind of things are good. I am having fun, but at the same time, I'm ready for some stability. I've been looking at different places to move to. This is where you guys come in. First of all, if you're comfortable, where do you live? And if you would recommend I move there, tell me why. Other than the fact that you live there, obviously, but what's a good city to live in? I have been looking at a couple of places, and one of my primary, requirements is sunshine. I want a lot of sunshine. It doesn't necessarily have to be warm, although warm is preferred. I've lived in Seattle all my life, and I'm over the gray and the gloom, and it doesn't rain that much in Seattle, despite what you hear in movies and TV shows and the news. It's just not sunny most of the time. For 9 months out of the year almost, it's not sunny. And when you wake up, 2 months, month and a half, 2 months, every day you wake up, you're like, oh, it's dark and gray again. That really wears on you, especially after many, many years. So I'm looking for a sunny place, and I'm looking for a place that is very supportive of the arts. I like museums. I like artwork, and I want to live in a community that really supports that and exhibits that artwork and champions local artists to do one of the things that I love about certain cities is when they allow artists to kind of paint the town a little bit, and they have like the side of an entire building will just be a huge canvas. I've seen a little bit of that here in Florida, but not that much. I'm in the Tampa, St. Petersburg area, so I've seen a few murals which are pretty cool, but that's a big requirement for me. And food, obviously, come on, you gotta have really good food. It doesn't have to be like the best, but at least like I stay away from chain restaurants for the most part. I like unique restaurants, or like small restaurateurs that that do a really good job and have a unique thing going on. Let's see, what else? I would prefer water, a place that is near water, but that's not necessarily a must. If I have a pool in my backyard, that would be okay. Yeah, but that's not like a make or break. That's not gonna sway my position. And also, like, I think, let's be honest, affordability. Like, I gotta be able to afford it. Seattle, for those of you who don't know, has become one of the most expensive cities in the country. It's insane. I have a couple of real estate agent friends that I get newsletters from, and they're constantly just, I guess, reminding us that the market is just insane here. It's been growing. I don't want to misquote them, but essentially over the last, I think, like 8 years or 10 years, it's grown like 83% or something like that. So if you owned a $400,000 house in 2012, now it's worth like 750 or something like that. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine being a college student, just starting out, trying to save money to own something in Seattle. And if you had, let's say you started saving money 22 in 2012, I mean, even if you were saving like $15,000 a year, which is a lot, let's say 10,000, make the math easier. If you wanted to afford a $500,000 house back in 2012, you need, $100,000 to put down if you want to put 20% down. But that would take you, if you're doing $10,000 a year, that's $800 a month. That's a lot right there that you're saving. But then it would take you to own a $500,000 house or a condo. Back in 2012, that was a pretty decent thing, $500,000. You could buy a house, but after 10 years, you've saved up $100,000. Well, now that house that you wanted to buy, $500,000, is now worth $900,000. So now you need, close to $200,000. So you just keep saving. It's just like this dream that you keep chasing, and it keeps getting further and further away from you relative to how much you're saving. And so that's one of the reasons why I want to get out of Seattle. Don't get me wrong, I love the city. I know it like the back of my hand. I could drive through back streets and get around. Like, I know all the different neighborhoods. And so that, in that sense, I love the fact that I know it so well. Microsoft, and now Google's there, and Apple's there, and Facebook is there, and I think Twitter's there, and there's all sorts of companies that have sprouted out of Seattle. It's very much a tech city, and there's no better place to be in the summertime. I mean, it is just breathtakingly gorgeous. I'm very much looking forward to getting back there for the summer. Hiking is the best there. Although I haven't hiked in a lot of other places, but the hiking's pretty awesome there. But yeah, it's grown so not affordable. Yeah, it's really a shame. But I can see why. I mean, it's surrounded by water on either side. You have Lake Washington on one side, you have the Puget Sound on the other. And so in that sense, it's not sprawling like some cities, like some cities you can kind of build around in a circle in every direction for the most part. And there's room to grow. With Seattle, there's not that much room to grow. And as a result, the homes that are kind of within the city limits, or at least somewhat close to the city, they become more desirable because of their location. And so, sellers can increase the price because people are willing to pay it, right? So it's just, yeah, I've never lived anywhere else in my life, so I'm looking forward to finding a place that is my little slice of heaven. And yeah, I'm taking suggestions. Please let me know if you have a place that you love. Tell me why you love it. And give me suggestions. Where should I move? I was going to mention this, but I stopped. I'm looking at Austin, Texas, Tucson, Arizona. I was looking at San Diego and the greater Los Angeles area. Obviously not downtown. I wouldn't want to live downtown LA. But, the greater Los Angeles area is just really, really big, right? So, but I was looking, but I've kind of ruled out that area just because it's kind of similar to Seattle in the sense that there's just high demand and it's expensive. It's really expensive. I think it's as expensive as Seattle is. So what you can get for your money is just not that great. The other place I've actually been looking in Florida, but at the same time, while I like the weather here, it's a little humid for my taste. I gotta tell you, I have this weird pet peeve. Well, not pet peeve, it's not a pet peeve, it's, I guess just this, there's this weird thing about me where I don't like sweating when I'm wearing cotton. Like, it's just a thing that I just really like. If I'm wearing a cotton shirt, and I start sweating, it's like the most uncomfortable thing for me in the world. I don't know when this started, probably a few years ago, but yeah, like being here and when it's humid out, if I'm wearing a cotton shirt, I'm like, I'd rather just take it off and get sunburned than be sweating in cotton. I've been going to the gym, and when I get home, I usually just keep my workout gear on for the rest of the day, just because it's breathable and it's stretchy and it's moisture wicking that's not cotton. So I I don't know that I could deal with extreme humidity. I went to a trade show a few years ago in Nashville in July, and oh my god, it was like torture. And we couldn't wear pants, or we couldn't wear shorts to the trade show, so I'd have to wear pants to the show. We would get there somewhat early in the morning, but you wake up and you go outside at 8 a.m. and it's already hot and humid. And so that was just like, I was just like beelining it to the Uber, and then from the Uber, like beelining it into the convention center, and they keep it nice and cold in there. So, oh my god, I see people walking around in like long sleeves and in pants, and I'm just like, that looks just torturous to me. Can't imagine. So ideally, I'm looking for a place that's not, you're gonna hear a cat rubbing. Stop it. Stop. She's rubbing her face on the microphone. Yeah, so I don't want to live in a place that's super humid. I don't mind desert. I don't mind a dry heat. That's kind of why I'm looking at Tucson. I was looking at Palm Springs, like the whole Coachella Valley area, but stop. The demographic is I think it's too old for me. I don't know. I don't want to retire that early. Let's see what else. I've been reading a lot lately. I think I mentioned fish in one of my previous videos, and actually, right after I filmed that video, I went out and bought a biography of fish. So I've been reading that. I've also been reading a book called Feeling Good by Dr. David Burns. It's an older book, and I assume it's been updated with more recent information, but it's a really good book. It's kind of like, it takes a very holistic view towards feeling good, feeling happy, and it goes into all sorts of things like obsessive compulsive disorder, depression, anxiety, sadness, loneliness, suicide. It just talks about kind of mental health, kind of a broad, that broad category, and all the different subcategories within that topic. And he goes through a lot of his techniques. One of the things I like about him is that he's very candid and he's very open, and he talks about his own personal feelings and emotions that arise when he's having therapy sessions with his patients, and how he reacts to them treating him in a certain way. So if he has a patient that's especially difficult, or that calls him names, he's very candid and open in the book about how that makes him feel and how he copes with being disrespected or being treated poorly by his patients. And it's unlike any I guess self-help book that I've ever read, in the sense that the author themselves is talking about how they feel, and talking about, like, they're not infallible, that they have emotions too, and they have highs and lows, and they get sad, and how he deals with it. And it's like, I think it's a very good technique to make the author more relatable, more genuine, just more authentic. So it's a fascinating read. It's a little bit of a longer read. It's 600 and something pages, but yeah, I've been really enjoying that. let's see. I've been crushing the Marvel comic universe. I am almost done. I'm on Ragnarok right now. Such a good set of movies. I'm just like, yeah, this is the really good part. So I'm really anxious to watch it. And yeah, other than that, we're not very far from the Gulf of Mexico. It's like a 10-minute walk from where we are. So I've been going to watch the sunsets every night, which has been pretty sweet. Like, the sunsets here are pretty awesome. That's been fantastic. Been trying to absorb less news and less Instagram too. I don't know, this is a weird thing, guys. Like, I put all my stuff in storage, in case you're wondering. So yeah, living in a temporary house, furnished house, for a couple of months, put all my stuff in storage. And when I go back to Seattle, I'm going to keep it in storage and find another rental and just kind of do the temporary living situation. I work from home, so I can afford to do that. Yeah, it's weird, guys. Honestly, like, this wasn't my number one choice of things to do, but this is something that it's something that I kind of wanted to explore and just try out. In hindsight, I don't think I would have done it this way again. I mean, putting all my stuff in storage, I would have found, or at least kept what I had, kept the apartment that I had. Sorry, I've got hair, cat hair or something. It's bugging me. I think I would rather find either a new place to live or stay in the place that I was at and like rent it out on Airbnb and then go somewhere else. I think if I did this again, that's what I would do. But who knows? I'm here. The decision's been made. So, my thoughts on Florida. In case you want to know, for those of you that haven't been, they call it the Sunshine State for a reason. Although it's, I've been here for May and June, and it's been surprisingly cloudy. I guess I was expecting more, like, just clear blue skies. And maybe it's the time of year with spring and everything. I don't know. But there have been a lot more clouds than I anticipated. I expected hot. I got hot. So the heat is good. I feel like it's good for my skin, being in Seattle. Like, the only time I sweat is when I'm at the gym. And here you just sweat like all the time. So I guess that's been good for my skin. I feel like it's been good for my skin. People drive insane around here. Are you from Florida? Why are you driving so fast? Seriously, I'm going across Tampa Bay on one of the bridges, and I shit you not, guys, almost every time somebody passes me going like 95, 100 miles an hour. Like, I'm not exaggerating. That happens at least once or twice every freaking time. Okay, maybe not every time, but if I see one car doing it, guaranteed there's gonna be more coming behind them. fast, but like I drive fast when there's no one else around. But these people are like whoosh, whoosh, like it's freaking Mario Kart, man. It's insane. So when I'm driving around here, I'm more on edge. I mean, I've got a rental car. I'm not driving my own car, so that might be part of the reason why, but like, seriously, like, people drive so fast here. Oh my god. And I've witnessed like very close call accidents, like almost every time I drive. It's really nerve-wracking, to be honest. So that's been a little different. People in Seattle drive friggin' slow. I mean, occasionally you'll have your speed racers, but yeah, people drive slow in the left lane. I don't know if that's a thing here in Florida. It doesn't seem to be, but in Seattle, that's definitely a thing. You'll have somebody driving, like going the speed limit in the far left lane on the freeway, and I mean it's like the complete opposite of what I'm experiencing here. So two extremes on that end. Yeah, people just whizzing in and out of lanes and just going all over the place. I was not expecting that. People are much more willing to talk to strangers here. I've noticed that. People look up and they smile at you. Now, in Seattle, people keep their head down. They keep to themselves for the most part. I'm just like, in general, I'm not gonna speak for anybody, but in my experience being there, just people, there's less eye contact in Seattle than there is here. You're walking down the sidewalk, pretty much everybody that you come across is gonna look up, they're gonna say hi to you, and it's not uncommon to strike up a conversation with a complete stranger. That is not something I'm used to in Seattle. That almost never happens in Seattle. I don't know if it's because it's usually cold and wet there, or it's a lot of introverts. I don't know what it is, but as long as I've lived in Seattle, that's the way it's been. So Florida's hospitality, so far so good. People are really nice. There's definitely, like, if you've ever heard of like Florida man, like in the news, the Florida man's definitely a thing. People do their own thing here, which is awesome. But also like a little bit like, makes you wonder what's going on up in there. But hey, to each their own. No judgment here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that being here for a couple of months is enough time. Also, considering the fact that I'm working full time when I'm here, so Monday through Friday, it's not like I'm out being a tourist. I'm inside working, and at the end of the day, after I go to the gym and eat, like I don't really have any time to explore. So really, it's just been like on the weekends, and yeah, just getting out and about and just kind of seeing what's out there and what's things to do. And it's different in that, like, I don't have any friends here, right? So like, that's been a little bit of a challenge. And obviously, like, if I moved here, I would find my people somehow. There are glass blowing band, so I'm sure there's musicians around here. Actually, I was at Sparkman Wharf a couple weekends ago. There was this badass funk band that was playing, and yeah, I really wanted to stick around and chat with the folks in the band, but I couldn't stick around. I don't know. They were playing well into the night, so yeah. I mean, things are good. Things are good. It's just, yeah, my life right now is just so like, I don't know what's next, which is totally not me. I always know what's next, but I don't know what's next, so we'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, I'm very much looking forward to stability, and along with stability comes more video, more content creation, and just I guess when I say stability, I mean housing as well. Having a studio, having a place set up where I can film and record and make music and do all these things that I really enjoy doing. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. And yeah. But until then, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to make any promises about uploading videos or keeping a schedule, so to speak, of when I can post more stuff. But yeah, I just hope that you are all patient and will stick around, and hopefully I can make it worth the wait. Yeah, let's see what else. I don't know. I have a friend who is going through some relationship struggles, and I feel that. I really do. I can totally relate. Relationships are hard, man. I have this firm belief that compatibility is so much more important than chemistry. And I don't want to say that chemistry isn't important, but compatibility, especially as you get older and like you're through the honeymoon phase. Once when you get past that, I think that's when, in the beginning, I think chemistry is important, perhaps more important than compatibility. But then over time, when I don't want to say the chemistry fades, I guess that does happen. But I guess like the compatibility factor kicks in and becomes more important than the chemistry. It's especially when you move in with a partner, that's when the compatibility factor really comes into play, because then it's like, okay, let me think. What are the things that are important in a relationship? Well, communication being probably number one. You gotta be able to talk about your feelings and your emotions and how that person makes you feel, how that person's behavior makes you feel. Being able to talk about the ups and downs of life and the ups and downs of the relationship, and communicating, like, yeah, just, if you get mad or upset, or that person does something that makes you feel a certain way, and it's not desirable, it's not a good thing. I mean, even if it is a good thing, it's important to communicate that. Like if you're in a relationship and somebody does something very thoughtful and sweet, tell them, like, this is how that makes me feel. Obviously, thank them for their thoughtfulness, but let them know, like, this makes me feel great, or this makes me feel cared for, or loved, or whatever. But on the flip side of that, you have to be comfortable. I want to say that's the easy part, is to give praise or say thank you, express gratitude. It's much more difficult to express dissatisfaction with your partner, especially if it doesn't happen often. Meaning you expressing your dissatisfaction if you're not comfortable speaking up when you feel like you've been disrespected, or you feel like somebody did something that was not thoughtful, or perhaps they disregarded your feelings or something like that, then you need to speak up and say something. And if you don't say something, you can start to harbor feelings of resentment, right? And so when it comes to compatibility, if you are a kind of a messier person and your partner is super organized, that super organized person might start to resent you if their efforts of organization are not respected by you. Like if you don't care putting something back where you found it, then that person who's super organized might have an issue with that, especially if it happens over and over and over. Because that person wants or expects things to be in a certain place all the time and reliable. I'm a super organized person, so I can say, like, I tell this to all my friends. You can borrow anything that I own as long as you put it back where you found it. One of my pet peeves is when people don't put things back where they found them. If it's yours, I don't care. But if it's mine, that's all that I ask. Put it back where you found it. And leave it, or put it back. How am I trying to say this? Leave it better than you found it. Or the same or better than you found it. So, yeah, I let my friends borrow tools all the time, and I tell them, like, you can totally borrow my tools, but when I get it back, I expect it in the same condition. If you don't think you can do that, let me know in advance. I've lived with roommates who they don't do that, and it drives me crazy. Like, I had a roommate who would leave dirty dishes on the coffee table. He would eat his dinner, watch TV on the couch, and he would set the plate down, and he would leave it on the coffee table, and he'd leave it overnight. He'd wake up the next morning, he'd have cereal, and then he'd leave the bowl on top of that plate, and then he would do the same thing the next night, and rather than take the dishes to the sink, he would stack the newer plate on top of plate from last night, and we didn't have that many plates, and so I'd go to use a plate, and it's not there. Because several of them are on the coffee table with, I don't know, burrito stains or pasta sauce or something that's like crusted on it. And oh my god, that would drive me crazy because I need a plate. There aren't any plates available. The only plates that I have access to are those dirty plates. So then I would have to wash his plate in order for me to use a plate, and that's just enabling that behavior because, that's just teaching him that, if I just leave it there long enough, somebody else will take care of it. I don't think that his mom cleaned up after him. Or I think his mom cleaned up after him when he was a kid, and I think that that enabled him to just kind of, to just be messy. So it's hard, as somebody that's OCD and super organized. I wouldn't say that I'm a clean freak, because I definitely I let things get dirty, but I know where everything is. I'm a super organized person. So what I have might be dirty, but I know exactly where it is. And being in a relationship where your partner is not organized whatsoever is incredibly difficult. It's very, very difficult. So I think that is one area of compatibility that I think is very, very important. Planning. If you are a planner, I don't know, I think it depends on your perspective, but I'm very much a planner. Not in the sense that I guess I'm more of I'm more prepared. Not so much of a planner, but I'm if there are plans, and I don't necessarily have to make them, if there are plans, then I'm prepared for whatever those plans are. And so I think that is an important factor. I think that, a couple of cultural things that come to mind, music, movies, and just lifestyle things I think are important. And not to say that this can't work, but if you drink, if you're a social drinker, and you're with someone that doesn't drink at all, I think that can work. But if you're with someone that doesn't drink and somebody that doesn't literally feel comfortable at a place where there is drinking, that can be an issue, I would imagine. I have no experience there, so I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing, but I can imagine that somebody that my mom has celiac, so that's a little bit challenging for my mom and dad, in that my dad is not celiac at all. He can eat gluten all day. But that's just a little bit of a lifestyle thing that you can overcome. But I think that if you have drastically different hobbies, or one person has a lot of hobbies and the other person doesn't have any hobbies, that can be challenging too. I can imagine the person that doesn't have hobbies, really their hobby would be spending time with their partner. But then if that partner wants to do those hobbies and their partner doesn't want to do those hobbies, I feel like there could be some resentment there. So that's what I mean about compatibility being more important, because really the chemistry is great when you're together, when you're first starting out in a relationship. You get the butterflies in your stomach, it's exciting, everything's new, you're kind of exploring each other in so many ways. And picking each other's brain, getting to know each other. But then really at the end of the day, when you kind of get through that initial phase and you start jumping into the rhythm of life and focusing, a lot of your focus is on your career and spending time with friends and doing things, that's, I think, really when compatibility kicks in. And looking at your relationship, if you're in a relationship now, ask yourself, how compatible are you? Maybe you've already asked this question, but it's just something to think about. If you are having trouble in your relationship, maybe that's a factor. Maybe it's a compatibility issue. I think that I think a lot of us do fall into the trap of just the chemistry, crazy chemistry. I know that, God, I was in a relationship for about a year that was just pure chemistry. I mean, pure chemistry. There was hardly any compatibility at all. And I stayed in the relationship way too long because the chemistry was so good. There was just crazy strong attraction, and yeah, we couldn't keep our hands off of each other. But yeah, that one crashed hard. That relationship crashed hard. So, but I learned a lot. So, you guys know me, I like to see the positive side of things. And, yeah, looking back, that was ultimately a good thing. It was just a hard lesson to learn, and, she's a good person, and I wish her well, but, in the long run, we were not right for each other, so, it is what it is. That being said, I'm gonna go. I had to turn the air conditioner off and the fan off in the house so that I could get some peace and quiet to film this. And now it's 80 degrees in here, so I'm kind of hot. But I'm glad to be doing this again. This feels really good. I miss you guys. I miss filming a lot. Again, I'm not going to make any promises whatsoever because this is a temporary situation. I'm actually flying back to Seattle next weekend, and gonna be there for a cousin's wedding, and then I'm coming back, and I'm here for another 3 weeks. Then I'm back in Seattle again for a couple months, and hopefully I don't know where I'm gonna be. I might have access to a quiet space and I can start filming again, but I'll be honest, I never wanted to stop filming. I never wanted to kind of have my life in flux like this. It's just, it is what it is, and so I'm just rolling with the punches. But yeah, let's see. We'll see. Maybe I can film tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I am always grateful for your time and attention, and for sticking with me. Yeah, I hope that you guys are doing well, that life is treating you good. I hope you're looking forward to summer. I know I certainly am. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Alright guys, take care.